Backbends looks impressive. They are energizing. At the same time, quite intimidating. But if one doesn't practice backbends with the right alignment and proper breath cues, injuries are also a worry. Have you been practicing backbends for a while and looking forward to deepen the practice? Then you have come to the right place. My name is Selena and welcome to Shvasa.com. In this video, I'm going to share a few key alignments that I have used in my practice and will definitely help you go deeper in yours as well. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, this is the right time to do it. Unlike forward bends, backbends can be quite intimidating, just for a fact that the movement goes towards the back of the body and we can't see it. The only way to understand a backbend is to sense it. But once done, it is quite satisfying. So here in this video, I'm going to talk about a few principles that to keep in mind to get deeper into the backbends. The first principle to begin with, the foundation of our body, which is close to the mat. The stability of the foundation would help a key role for you to get into the backbends. To understand that a little deeper, let's get onto the mat with me. So let me explain the first principle by demonstrating the asana, Urdhva Svanasana, or widely known as upward facing dog. So a commonly practiced version of this asana would be the legs are wider and the heels tend to fall to the side, right? Why is it commonly practiced? The first reason being, first of all, it is easier to get into the practice and you sense that you are in a deeper back bend. But not necessary, it has to be safe for the lower back. So the ideal way of practicing would be keeping the feet hip width wider, press into the top of the feet, wrist and the shoulders are in one line, and then you look forward. All right? So let's practice the second round together. Join me on the mat. So we will lie down. Legs are, the first principle being the foundation. The legs are hip width wider, press into the top of the feet and the heels are pointing up. The palms are just below the lower rib cage. You will inhale, you will lift the head up, chest up, thighs off the mat, knees off the mat, firmly pressing into the top of the feet, and then you look forward. You will stay here for 5 breaths. Posture begins now, and breathe. 1. Pressing firmly into the top of the feet, making sure that the heels are pointing up. 2. Gaze is very important, so you look forward. 3. Longer breath. 4. One last breath. And 5. Slowly release the knees down. Push back. Big toes are touching each other. Keep the thighs little apart. And then drop the head down. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Lower back relaxed. Slowly getting ready to come out. Release the palm under the shoulder. Slowly sit up. So in the second principle, we will talk about the bend coming more from the chest versus the bend coming more from the lower back. Again, the widely practiced version would be we tend to bend the lower back more versus lifting the chest up. Let me demonstrate that with the posture, Ustrasana, or widely known as Camel. So once again, like we discussed in the first principle, you keep the knees rather hip width wider, the toes are tucked out. You will turn, release the palms on the heels. Mostly wide practiced version would be you push the hips up, but the chest is dropping and the navel is not engaged. All right, so the second principle being the thighs rolling in, plus it is moving forward. You're lifting from the chest. An analogy can be having a string at the chest and imagine then someone is pulling the string up to the ceiling. All right, the navel is slightly drawn in. That keeps the lower back safe. All right, and the bend from the neck is definitely optional. If you're comfortable with the neck dropping back, you will release the neck back and you will stay in the posture. While releasing, release the palm, one palm to the opposite shoulder, and then you release down. Let's practice the second round together. So come on to the knees. Your knees are hip width wider, toes are extended out. Release the palms, look at the right heel, you will turn the chest to the left heel and then you release the palm down. Navel is drawn in, thighs moving forward, lifting the chest up. And then if you're comfortable with the neck, you will drop the head back. You will stay here for 5 breaths. 1. Consciously pull the navel in. 2. 3. 4. And 5. While releasing, release one palm to the opposite shoulder and release the other. Release both the palms down onto the mat. Let the back recover and slowly sit back, extend the hands forward and drop the head down. Getting ready to release the posture. Release both the palms under the shoulder. Slowly sit up. So the third principle being the bend coming more from the hips versus coming from the lower back. Let's look into this principle using the help of an asana called as Hastottanasana or widely known as standing back bend. All right. So again, going back to the first principle, that's your foundation of the legs. Feet are again hip width wider and energetically you're moving the thighs in. So thighs are rolled in. A widely common practice would be pushing the hips back, especially we do a lot this in Surya Namaskar, right? We extend the hands up. This feels easier, safer, and you feel that you're in a much more back bend, but not necessarily it is safe for the lower back, right? So let's see how do we practice this to be safer in the lower back. So again, feet hip width wider, thighs are rolled in. You will push the hips forward and the navel is drawn in, lifting the chest up. And then bending by pushing the hips forward, lifting the chest up. If you're comfortable, you will extend the hands up in line with the arms. All right, while releasing, release the palms down to the heart center and release the palms down by the side. Let's do this posture together. Join me. So once again, going back to the first principle, that's your foundation, keeping the feet hip width wider. Your thighs are rolled in. And very important, pull the hips forward. You're pushing the hips forward. And then navel is drawn in, lifting the chest up. You will extend the hands in line with the ears. And then looking up. Once again, the option of dropping the head back is according to your safety and comfort. If you're comfortable, you will look up between the palms and you will stay here. 5 breaths. 1. Body tends to get to shiver a lot. That's quite normal. 2. Press into the feet, thighs rolling in. 3. Breathing consciously. 4. One last breath. And 5. Releasing. Slowly straighten the trunk and bend the knees slightly. Bend from the hips. Release. Just the fingertips down. Keep the knees bent so the lower back is rested. Thighs down. Abdomen close to the thighs. And then you'll stay here for 3 breaths. 2. And 3. While releasing, slowly release the palms on the hips and slowly stand up. The fourth principle being the bend coming from the neck. So let's look at this principle using a posture. Ardha Chandrasana or known as Crescent Moon posture. Alright, so coming back to downward facing dog. You will look forward, you will step the right leg forward. Revisiting the first principle, that's your foundation. Knees tend to drop out, so press into the foot. Your back leg is internally rotated, so the thigh is active. You release the palms. Most commonly practiced version of this posture would be you will lift the chest, however you tend to drop the head back. It gives you a sense of going into a deeper back bend, but not necessarily it is safer for the neck. Alright, so let's look at how do we get into the posture safely. So once again, your back knee is pressed, thigh is rolled in. You will release the palms behind, lifting the chest up and the head is diagonally up so that the neck is long. Looking diagonally up and then you extend the hands up. Alright, so let's practice this posture together. Join me. So we'll start from Adho Mukha Svanasana, or known as downward facing dog. You will step the right leg forward, drop the left knee down. Making sure the right knee and the ankle is in one line and the knee is not dropping out to the side. All right, release the palms. You will tuck the navel in, lift the chest up and keeping the neck long and comfortable. You will extend the hands, upper arms in line with the ears. Posture begins now and you will start to breathe. 1. Once again, pressing into the back, front of the back foot so that the heel is pointing up. 2, 3, comfortably breathing. 4, one last breath, and 5. While coming out, release the palms by the side of the right foot, tuck your back toe, back knee off and go back. Keep the knees bent so the lower back is rested by bringing the abdomen close to the thighs. Let's practice the same on the other side. You will look forward, step the left leg all the way forward, drop the right knee down and the back of the right foot is pressed so the heel is pointing up. Checking the alignment, your front knee and the ankle is in one line. Release the palms, push the hips forward, lift the chest slightly up. And then making sure the neck is long and you will extend the hands. 5 breaths starts now. Breathe. 1. Longer breath. 2. 3. 4. Pressing firmly into the front of the back foot. And 5. Gently release the palms by the side of the foot. Tuck your back toe, back knee off the mat and you will go back. Keep the knees bent. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Slowly release the knees down to the mat, toes are out and sit back. So since we learned all the 4 principles, let's look at how can we implement all these principles in one asana, right? So let me demonstrate Chakrasana for you, commonly known as the wheel posture. So we'll lie down on the back. The first principle being the foundation, keeping the feet hip width wider and the thighs are rolled in. The commonly practiced version would be you would keep the feet apart and the knees fall out to the sides and the elbows also drop out to the side, right? So let's fix that. Keeping the feet hip width wider, toes are slightly can be turned in and the thighs rolled in. Your fingers are actively pressed down by the side of the ears and elbows pointing up to the ceiling. All right. You will press into the lower back. Again, you will tuck the navel in. You will inhale. Exhale, draw the navel in, press into the feet, release the crown of the head down. And then you will straighten the elbows. And the effort is to press into the feet, not letting the knees drop out. You will have the toes slightly pointed in, thighs rolled in, and then you will move the chest through that gateway of the palms. And then the last one would be the dropping of the neck, to be comfortable and look between the palms. While releasing the posture, you will bring the chin close to the chest, dropping the back of the head down and then drop the lower back down. All right, so let's do the second round together. Join me on the mat, lie down, keeping the feet hip width wider, toes are slightly turned in, thighs rolling in. Release the palms. You will release the palms by the side of the ears, making sure the elbows are pointing up to the ceiling. Press into the lower back and pull the navel in. Inhale, take a long breath here. Exhale, navel drawn in, press into the palms and place the crown of the head down. Feet firmly pressed and then extend the elbows, throw the head back and look between the palms. Posture begins now. We will breathe. 1. Consciously pressing actually the big toes firmly. 2. Thighs roll in. 3. Check the navel can be drawn in. 4. One last breath. And 5. Getting ready to release the posture. Slowly release the chin down to the chest, placing the back of the head down, drop the lower back down. Gently Release the feet. Bring the thighs close to the chest. Separate the knees so the belly can breathe. And then you'll relax. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Press the lower back down and relax. Stay here for a few breaths and slowly release. You can roll over to one side and then you will sit up. So that was a challenge for you. I would love to hear how did the challenge go. Please let us know in the comment section. I would also love to hear how did you implement all the principles in your practice, and let me know how is the backbend progressing. If you're looking at a professional and yet a convenient way to practice yoga from home, join our online live classes at shvasa.com. I look forward to see you in the class.